Hello everyone, my name is Amrit Dhillon. Today I'll be talking about my systems response paper 2. The social media issue that I'll be discussing about is Dove advert from 2017. This Dove advert was posted on Facebook in 2017 as it showed a dark-skinned black woman removing her top and turning into a white woman, supposedly after using the Dove body wash. This Dove advert discriminates against women of color and specifically dark-skinned black women. What is beauty, and how do we gain an understanding of the beauty standards in our contemporary world? Beauty around the world has been equated with fair skin being successful and dark skin tone with misfortune. For centuries, minority women have been victimized for their skin color through depictions on TV, social media, and other platforms. They've been depicted as lesser than white women because of their race. Skin color segregates us from each other even more. We all approach and view things differently, and it depends on our gender, race, and class. Dark-skinned black women are overrepresented in criminal justice system and have a lower socioeconomic status in North America. Black women have been oppressed for long, and in the past their roles defined them as maids, cooks, cleaners, and caretakers. So when social media brands such as Dove create these commercials, they often still view and objectify them as a subordinate group of dark-skinned black women who needs to use Dove products to enhance their beauty. In this presentation today, I'll explore the Dove brand's social media advertisement and its impacts on our comprehension of believing that white women are successful and beautiful while those with darker complexions, specifically dark-skinned black women, are unsuccessful, ugly, and not worthy. This Dove advert exhibits subtle racism as the producers, writer, literally the whole team of Dove who worked on this advert ignored the fact how they're being racist against the black woman. I heard an interview of the dark-skinned black model from Dove advert and how she has internalized racism that she says even though she's not defending Dove, but the context was different and how the audience understood the advert. This signifies it's deep-rooted as black women have all their life heard that they're uneducated, uncivilized. Some negative traits such as bad attitude, criminal behavior, toughness, aggression, laziness, and stupidity are assigned to dark-skinned black men and women, which further marginalizes dark-skinned black community versus even the lighter-skinned black community. The underlying assumptions about dark-skinned black woman in the Facebook ad that represent that she's sad, weak, and powerless, who needs to become like white women. The prototype of a white woman is someone who's young, strong, and beautiful, and yet she can use her tears to her advantage and be more feminine than ever before. As mentioned in Forbes magazine in 2019, that black women are also the most educated group in the US, with women making this up 64% of black students who earn a bachelor's degree. The statistics show that black women have higher success rate than black men and are achieving higher education as they pursue undergraduate degree for a better future. But the societal structures barricade black women from the same opportunities that are provided to white women because of their race and the skin color, and as they hold higher status and power in society. White women have much more power and status than black women, and our idea of beauty is white standard of beauty. The image represented in the media is a young, slim white woman to advertise or present for a beauty campaign. But why is white better? What makes women of color less than white women? White privilege is something that manifests the idea of power and control that is inherently held by Caucasian men and women. This benefits white women in the realm of looking for a job, to attending school, or even getting away when in trouble versus women of color. Black women have to prove themselves and their innocence as they're targeted by the police, the media, and the system for their identity and skin color. The focus of making these advertisements is to homogenize this group of women. The imbalance and the class issues against black women create scenes of sarcasm. Even though black women pursue their education and work hard to be successful, there's lack of accessibility and opportunities which are readily available to white women. Black women, because of their racial identity, do not get the same job offers that white women do. The pay gap between white women and women of color signifies that dark-skinned women are discriminated against for their skin color and their cultural identity. The Dove advertisement does not explicitly say this, but it implies that white is better. It portrays that an ideal skin tone should be white. It defines her as a prosperous and happy woman. The lived experiences of black women are not looked at and given any importance, which demeans their position in society as they're objectified to serve a purpose. For example, in past, medical treatments were tested on black women as it was believed it didn't cause them any pain, versus white women, which has created a world where institutionalized prejudices have harassed and mistreated black women until today. Black women in social media are still ridiculed, made fun of, and some stereotypes of them being inhuman and unsuccessful are a reason because we're still looking at this information through a Eurocentric lens, where we're not understanding from their perspective. The idea here is to dismantle their identity and erase their culture. Their efforts are not recognized and are rather exploited and taken advantage of because they can't raise their voice against the systematic injustices against them. This is not the first time when Dove has done something like this. Advertisements for a long time do this injustice of portraying girls with darker complexion as dull, sad, without a partner, and no prospects of love life. This was something done by Dove, which was portrayed in a Dove advertisement in another campaign from 2011, which showed a before and after visual of a dark-skinned, slightly overweight black woman and a light-skinned, skinny white woman skin after using their product. I struggle to understand how black woman needs this product, but then you become and turn into a white woman. Being a woman of color myself, I view the world differently, as my skin color often interferes in my journey of success. In South Asian culture, it is considered very important for a woman to be fair. When deciding upon marriage proposals, it is a must for the girl's family to mention that she's fair-skinned. And from research, I found that African and Indian women, even living in South Africa, spend a lot of money on purchasing these skin lightening products to achieve a better social standing. And sometimes, mostly, they don't even worry about the side effects that those products have on their skin, because the society has created such a rigid mind-scan on dark-skinned women that beauty and success is equated with being fair-skinned. Black women have debunked a lot of the myths and stereotypes that are built against them and their community. We often hear that these individuals require support, whereas the black community, men and women, are law-abiding citizens who yearn for equality, respect, and similar job opportunities as other members of society. Black women are constantly fighting age-old stereotypes and preconceived notions about them because of their cultural identity and the skin color that distinguishes them from the rest of the community. Black women are constantly working hard to make a place for themselves in the society. They earn 63 cents on every dollar earned by their counterparts, and many face economic inequalities because they're underfunded and don't receive much support from the government, even though they work hard and try to become business owners. It is interesting that regardless of facing all these challenges, black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, as mentioned in a US consensus survey, where black women are majority owners in over 1.5 million businesses. This group of women are targeted on social media to create a disciplinary system where white supremacy wins and white women can dominate social media by diminishing the women of color and specifically black women. I believe eventually, in order for black women to create space for themselves where they can be seen, heard, and understood for who they are and not be judged for their skin color or race. Racism is something that we need to fight against. Our culture connects us to one another, and yet we humans are fighting against each other using our skin color. We need to use an intersectional approach to just understand that these adversities happening in the world are pushing us against each other, moving us away and further from one another. Something I was really glad to find out was that in late 2019, Dove hired Shonda Rhimes as a chief storyteller to create content, and their main purpose was to fight against hair discrimination and create other content. This is a good beginning for Dove to have an African American on the team who can best understand and verify their promotions and advertisements before airing them on social media platforms. In the past, all those advertisements that I've discussed in this presentation were usually made by Caucasian staff members who did not understand, as they haven't had any of these experiences of their own. In order for us to win against this issue, we need to replace the stereotypical thinking that we have been living with, and we need to look at people as individuals and not homogenize the whole group or the community as one. And it is very important to understand perspectives and opinions of how people, individuals, cultures see themselves, view themselves, instead of using a different lens. It can be a Eurocentric lens to look at or understand a community or a culture. Thank you for listening.